So, top of the mat, turn your palms to face forward, let your shoulders drop down. So just knit the shoulder blades together and gaze forward. Take a nice big deep inhale. And as you exhale, close your eyes. And just breathe. First couple of breaths, just really ground down through the feet. Spread the toes out. So we're using all of the toes to help with our balance. And then you may feel your body sway or rock slightly. That's fine, just go with it. It's your natural rhythm, your natural vibrations. And just connecting in with how you're feeling this morning. Both physically and mentally. Notice within the physical body if there's any areas that are tight or tense. And notice in the mental body as well, if you are holding on to any stress or tension, try to just let it go. Exhale is a powerful tool for releasing, so use the exhale to get rid of physical and mental tension. Let your mat take it away from you. So imagine it's draining out of your body, down through the soles of your feet and out and into the mat. So inhale, fill the whole body with breath. All the way into fingertips and toes to the crown of the head. And exhale, release it completely and let the feet ground you into the mat. On your next exhale, think about dropping your shoulders down a little bit deeper and lengthening up through the back of the neck too. So this chin can slightly drop down towards the chest. Pull the belly button back towards the spine a touch, so that we have some activation into the lower core. Keep that breath long and deep. It's going to help guide you through your practice today. And finally, before we start moving, I invite you to set an intention, maybe a dedication for your practice. All right, on your inhale, let's take the arms up to the ceiling. Take a nice big stretch, reach up, and then as you exhale, soften the knees and forward fold. Come into a ragdoll position. So the arms can hang or take hold of opposite elbows. And just hang over your legs, sway or rock if that feels nice. Give the head a shake as well so the neck is long, the head is heavy. Then release your arms to the floor and slowly roll back up. Come all the way back up. Take the arms up towards the ceiling. Get hold of the right wrist with the left hand and then lift up and go over for a side bend. So push the hips out to the opposite side. Go into your half moon stretch. And then back to center. Switch the hands over, so lift up and take it over, stretching into the side body. Root down through that left foot. Good, bring it back to center. Exhale, forward fold once more. Go back into your ragdoll. Interlace your fingers, place them onto the back of the head to add a bit more weight to the upper body. And take weight forward into the balls of the feet. The tailbone can lift if it feels okay for the legs. Good, release the hands down to the floor. Maybe bring them onto your shins as you halfway lift. And then fold once more, place the hands down, step back into a plank position. So engaging everything, pushing the heels to the back of the room. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. Take a breath in here. Exhale, lower down, knees, chin and chest. Sliding the chest through and coming up into a baby cobra. So not going too deep to begin with, and keeping the knees down as you push back into your child's pose. The forehead comes to the floor. Keep the fingers spread out, hands are shoulder distance apart. And inhale, pull up and into your tabletop, hands and knees. Extend the right arm forward and left leg back into Superman. Flex the back foot. Keep the core engaged, the back is nice and flat. Just look down towards the mat. And then inhale, draw the knee and the elbow underneath the body to touch. And extend, push away. Bring the heel towards your bottom and reach back. Catch hold of the foot. Now push the foot into the hand. Lift the chest, look forward. Roll the right shoulder blade back. So we can get a stretch through the right side of the chest. Keep kicking the foot back into the hand, trying to lift that thigh a little bit higher. Good. Release back out, Superman. Extend along that line. Bring it down to the mat. And let's change to the other side. So left arm and right leg. Nice flat back. Flex that back foot. And extend from your heel to your fingertips. Draw the knee and the elbow underneath the body in touch. Push them out and away. And then heel to bottom. Let's reach back. Get hold of the foot. Push the foot into the hand. Try and roll that left shoulder back a touch. Looking forward. Keep lifting the thigh. Keep the breath flowing. Then release back out into your Superman once more. Bring it back down to the floor. Tabletop. Lift the head and tuck the tailbone back as you inhale. Exhale, let's round the spine and the chin to the chest. And again, inhale, lift the head, tuck the tailbone back. And exhale to round. Once more, lift up on the inhale. Exhale, round the spine, chin comes into the chest. Pull the belly button all the way up and then release to neutral. Tuck your toes under, push your bottom back onto your heels to stretch out your toes. Bring your hands directly in front of your knees and then lift the hips up high so we come into a forward fold at the back of the mat. Hands, shins or floor halfway lift. Exhale, fold nice and deep. Come up on the inhale, steady. Come up nice and slowly. Arms reach to the ceiling. Bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Feet come together, big toes are touching. Okay, let's give those shoulders a roll back and down. And then inhale, sweep and lift, arms to the sky. Push the hips forward, reach back. Exhale, swan down into forward fold. Halfway lift. Really lengthen here. Fold again, go deeper. Then walk forward into plank. So walk those hands forward to find that plank position, lower through knees, chin and chest. Push through, back bend, so cobra position, sit back and take your child's pose. Push back, come up to tabletop, tuck the toes under, push your bottom back to your heels to stretch the toes. Hands in front of the knees. Lift the hips, forward fold back of the mat. Come up on the inhale. Hands to prayer, exhale. Good, okay, so take your hands behind your back, reverse your prayer. If you can't take reverse prayer, take hold of opposite elbows behind the back. Then step forward with the right foot, half a mat's distance. Keeping the hips nice and square, so the feet are on train tracks. Lift the chest on the inhale. And exhale, come into pyramid. So bringing the right chest down onto the right thigh. Look in front of your big toe. Push the right hip back. Bring the left hip forward so the hips are nice and square. And keep lengthening the spine as if you're trying to bring your chin towards the big toe. So we should feel a stretch down the back of our right hand into our right hamstring. Try, if you can, to keep that front leg nice and straight. Take a breath and take it deeper if you can. And then slowly come up, nice and steady, all the way up. And then step back to the back of the mat. If you have got the opposite elbow grab, switch the hands over so the other arm is on top. Then let's do the other side. So step forward with the left foot, just half a mat's distance. Square your hips, lift the chest. And then come down, left chest onto left thigh, pyramid on this side. Push the hips back. Push the left hip back so it joins up with the right. Reach your chin towards your big toe. Keep using the breath to lengthen the spine. And the exhale to go deeper. Really get into that juicy hamstring stretch. 2 more breaths like this. Go deeper with each one if you can. And then when you've done your 2 breaths, slowly come back up. Step back, release the hands. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hopefully you can feel it in those legs now. Lift up and lengthen halfway. Fold once more, then walk forward and find your plank. Chaturanga or knees, chin, chest now. Push through, back bend. So cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Good. Look forward. Let's step the right foot between the hands. So step it to the top, step the left foot forward as well, halfway lift. Now fold. Inhale, lift up. Push your hips forward, reach back, find a bit of a back bend, then swan dive into forward fold once more. Step back with the right foot. Sink it nice and low. Sink the hips down, lift the chest and look forward. Come up into your high lunge, so push into that front foot and raise your arms up into high lunge. Lower the back knee down to hover. Inhale to straighten. And lower to hover. And straighten. Now lower down and then hold it here. So nice deep lunge position. Try and keep the back leg straight if you can. So sit nice and deep. Make sure the shoulders are nicely relaxed as well here. Now inhale, lift up, interlace your fingers, release your pointers and look to the ceiling. Okay, so you're trying to touch the ceiling with your forefingers and then take a bit of a back bend. So draw a line back along the ceiling. Push your chest up. Keep the core engaged. Keep that back leg super strong and straight. Exhale, release the hands down, frame your front foot. Step forward and fold. Come up on the inhale, lift up, push the hips forward, reach back. Forward fold, swan dive down, step back left foot. Sink into your lunge. So nice long stance, push into the front foot. Come up into high lunge here. Relax your shoulders. Then lower the knee down, hover, and then straighten. Each time we go deeper, so lower down, hover, and then straighten. And then once more, go down, stay deep. Try and straighten the back leg if possible. Relax your shoulders. Interlace your fingers, release your pointers, reach up, look up. And if it feels okay, go for a back bend. So reach your fingertips back. Push your chest to the ceiling. Keep the tummy engaged. Breathe high into the chest. Nice. Exhale, release the hand down. Step back into plank. Lower, chaturanga. Push through to back bend. Downward facing dog. Find a breath in down dog. You maybe want to pedal out the legs here. Just checking that the hands are shoulder distance, the feet are hip distance. Have a little pedal, maybe drop the hip and twist. Whatever feels nice, just to settle into that position. Give the head a shake. Release any neck tension. Come up onto your toes and then push the heels back down to the mat so you can go deeper. Lift up onto your toes, now come forward into plank. Now engage the core and lift the hips again. Keep the heels high. Keep the heels high, then push them down to the floor. So lifting onto your toes, roll forward into plank. Shoulders come past the fingertips if we can. Engage the core, lift the hips high. So we're high on the toes, then push the heels to the floor. Well done. Lift the left leg up into the air. Big step, bring it forward between the hands. Bring the right foot up to join it. Halfway lift. And fold. Come up on the inhale. Raise up. Reach the hands to the ceiling. Push the hips forward. Reach back. Hands to prayer at heart center. Lovely. Lift up on the inhale. Forward fold. Step back with the right. Step back with the left. And find your plank. Lift the hips, push the heels down. Downward facing. Lift the right leg up for a three-leg dog. Okay, let's hold it here for a breath or two. Push the left heel to the floor. Now let's bend the knee and open up the hip. So drop the heel down towards the opposite buttock. The foot is nicely flexed. You can have a look underneath the right armpit. Just have a little peek. Now look underneath the left armpit and see if you can see that heel dropping down towards your bottom there. Good. Now bring right knee to right elbow. Touch. Push it back up. Bring right knee to nose. Touch. And up. Now twist right knee to left elbow. Touch. Push it all the way back up. Lovely. Step the foot between the hands at the top of the mat. So right foot forward. Drop the back heel down on the diagonal so we can come up into warrior one. Keeping the hips and the shoulders facing Forward, arms to the sky, bend deep into that front knee. Take your hands behind your back, interlace. Find your block with the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, now bow down into humble warrior. Bringing the chest down inside that front leg. Don't allow the right hip to stick out. Pull it into the centre of the mat. Let your head drop down, look towards your back foot. Use the breath to guide the head down deeper. Maybe the shoulder can come inside the knee if you want to go even deeper into this position. Or it can just rest on the knee, that's fine. Push down strongly through the left foot, so the outside edge of the left foot is pushing down as well. Keep that generous bend into the right knee. Release your hands down inside that front foot, so the right hand is inside the foot, and then take the left arm and open yourself up. Reach the left arm towards the ceiling. Good. So opening up, squeeze the right hip under a touch more, then bring that hand down to the floor. Lift the heel of the back foot, then take your right arm up. So you should end up in a twisted lunge. Good. Look towards the top hand. Keep the hips nice and low. Take another inhale. Exhale, hand down, step back, plank. Lower chaturanga. So take your vinyasa to downward facing dog. Whatever version you want to take today, we shall meet in down dog. A few breaths here, just to reset and reconnect. Maybe a shake of the head or a pedal of the legs, whatever feels nice. Let's do the left side. Lift the left leg into the air. Push the right heel to the floor. Then bend the left knee. So you're bringing your heel towards your bottom. So we're opening up the hip. Take a look underneath the left armpit. And then take a look under the right and see if you can see that foot dropping down behind you. So really get into the stretch. So that left knee should be the highest point of your posture. Bring the left knee forward to touch the left elbow. Push back. Then bring it forward to the nose. And back. Good. Then twist to the right elbow. Touch. Push it all the way back up. Step it between the hands at the top of the mat. The back heel goes down on the down when we come up. Hips and shoulders forward into warrior one. Arms to the sky. Bend deep into that front knee. Ground down through the outside edge of that right foot. Keep your hips square facing forward. Take the hands behind and interlace them. Really open up the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades before bowing down to humble warrior. So the shoulder is on or inside the knee. The head is dropping down. We're looking at our back foot. Let all of the tension release out of the neck. So the head just hangs. Now push down through the outside edge of the right foot. Make sure the left toes are free to move, so we're not gripping on too tight. You can bring the shoulder inside the knee if you want to take it deeper, but don't let the left hip stick out. Pull it to the centre of the mat. Take another breath, go deeper, take the head down towards the floor. Then carefully release the hands inside the foot. So left hand inside left foot. Take your right arm up to the ceiling. Keep that left hip tucked under. And keep pushing down through the outside edge of the right foot. Look towards your top hand maybe if the neck feels okay. Extend and touch the ceiling with your fingertips, then bring that hand down. Lift the back heel off the floor, so we're on the ball of the back foot. The right hand stays down. Now the left hand goes up to find our twisted lunge, keeping the hips low. Try and get the arms into a vertical position. Reach up. And then release. Hand down to frame, step back to plank, and a vinyasa of your choosing to downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, take a few breaths. Just settle back into the posture, find the breath, reconnect. Shake out the head, pedal the legs, whatever feels nice. Then look forward, bend at the knees, jump or step to the top, halfway lift. Now fold. Inhale, let's lift up. Nice and steady, all the way up. Push the hips forward, reach back for a tiny back bend. Hands come into prayer at heart center. Brilliant, well done. Okay, let's take a balance. Taking the weight into your right foot. Bring your left knee into your chest. Give it a little hug in. So squeeze the knee in nice and tight. Get the spine nice and tall. And then we're taking a tree or half lotus. So the foot above or below the knee joint, hands into prayer at heart center. If the balance is there, we can extend the prayer to the ceiling. Maybe open up to find our branches. Or if you want to go for a bit of a back bend, take your hands behind and interlace the fingers, yoga lock, squeeze and open the chest. Now push the hips forward, take the gaze back along the ceiling, push your heart up to the ceiling and take a back bend here. Good, keep moving the hands away from the bottom, keep pushing the chest up, keep pushing that left knee out to the side. And then carefully bring it all back to center. Bring the knee in for a hug before releasing it to the mat and walk it out of the legs. Let's take the other side. So weighting to the left, bring the right knee into chest. So stand nice and tall. Then guide in for your balance on this side. So tree or half lotus, whichever. Half lotus doesn't agree with my knees right now. So hands can be prayer or extended or open. If you're going to go for the back bend, take the hands behind. Try and interlace with the other forefinger on top. It might feel a little bit strange. And then squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest. Push your chest up to the ceiling, push the hips forward and start looking back to find that back bend. And then move the hands away from the bottom. So really open the chest. Try and squeeze the palms together as well. Shoulder blades squeeze, palms squeeze, chest lifts. Push the knee out. Breathe. And carefully bring it back to center. Bring it back in, give the knee a hug before you release it down. And just give those legs a bit of a shake out. So back up to the top of the mat, big toes are touching. Inhale, arms up. Let's sit down into chair posture. Just sit your bottom down. Find your seat. Have a look at the knees. Make sure those toes are there. Reach the arms to the top corners of the room. Now think about just tucking the tailbone slightly so we protect the lower back. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, tap the floor next to your heels. Bring the arms up. Tap next to your heels. Bring the arms up. Once more, tap just the floor. Then lift up. Now forward fold. Step back, right foot. Sink into the hips, step back, left foot. And find plank. Lift the hips, push the heels down, downward facing dog. Come up high onto your toes. Roll forward into plank. Lift the hips high, push the heels back down, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg to the sky. Bend the knee and open up through the hip. So back into that three-legged dog position. Right knee to right elbow, touch. Push it back up. Right knee to nose, touch, and up, twist to the left elbow, twist, push it back up, step the right foot outside the right hand into lizard lunge. Now lift the chest, look forward here, back knee can come down if you want to, but just keep lifting the chest now, push and drive your hips to the floor, whether the back knee is up or down, it's your choice. Keep your left hand down, take the right hand up, and then reach back, open the chest. Good. Take hold, so bend the back knee, bring your heel into your bottom, and see if you can get hold of that back foot and pull it in. Get a really intense stretch through the quad muscle on the left leg here. If we can't reach, then just keep the chest open and work here. Then bring the hand back down, stay on the hands or lower down onto your forearms. The back knee can then be lifted if you want to take the full version of your lizard. And we're here for a couple of breaths, so choose which level you want to work with. Take some nice big deep breaths in and out. Trying to sink into those hips a touch more if you can. Good, well done. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Drop the back knee down onto the floor and then push your hips back. Pull the right toes up towards your face. So pull the right toes up so you're into another hamstring stretch, working on that right leg. Now take your right hand onto the other side of your right leg. So you've got one hand either side of the front leg, yeah? Maybe take your foot off the side edge of the mat so we can slide forward towards a split-like position. So I'm not saying go into splits. If you can, amazing. If you can't, just go towards splits. Keeping one hand either side of the leg and just sink into it. Try to relax the upper body. We tend to go when we go into splits and create tension. So just trying to relax. And with each breath, let's slide that foot a touch further away so we can sink maybe a little bit deeper. Take another breath here. Let's see if we can get a little bit further down. And then we're very carefully going to bring that leg back. Hands to the top of the mat, knees come together, tabletop. Rotate the hips. Nice big circular movements. As big as you want to make them, and then change direction as well. So rotate the other way. Nice big movements. And then push yourself all the way back into your child's pose. So the bottom comes onto the heels, the forehead drops to the floor, and then pull forward and drop the hips down to the floor and into cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, forward, cobra, hips open, chest opens, push back, child's pose. Once more. Come forward into cobra. And now tuck your toes under, lift your hips high, come into downward facing dog. Lift up onto your toes, roll forward into plank. Let's get those shoulders past the fingertips. Lift your hips high, stay on your toes, then push the heels down to the floor. Lift the left leg up. Bend the knee and open up through the hip. So let's get that knee even higher this time, dropping the heel to the opposite buttock. So keep that right heel planted on the mat. Then left knee to left elbow. Touch. Push it back up. Left knee to nose. And push up. Then twist, left knee to right elbow. Twist. Good. Push it up. Now step the left foot to the outside of the left hand into your lizard lunge. Okay, so you've got both of your hands with the left foot outside. Then just lift the chest and look forward. If you want to drop the knee down here, you can. Take a breath or two. Then keep the right hand on the floor. Take the left arm up to the ceiling. Really sink into your hips. And then reach towards the back edge of the mat. Stay with this or bend that back knee so you can grab hold of your foot. So you get the stretch through the right quad. Look over the left shoulder. Sink those hips down to the floor. So you get a really lovely stretch into the hip flexor. So remember, if you haven't got the foot, just keep the chest open. Now bring the hand back down to the mat, and we may find that the forearms can lower down to the mat. And take our full lizard. The back knee can then lift and we stay here for some breaths. Or on our hands, whichever feels more agreeable with us this morning. It's always difficult doing hips before 8 AM, I find. But just find some breaths to work into the hips. Okay, all right, if you're on forearms, come back onto your hands, so the hands are underneath the shoulders. Push your hips back, pull the left toes up towards your face to take the hamstring stretch. Okay, and then move your left hand to the outside of the leg. So you've got one hand either side of the leg. Then Maybe take the foot off the side edge of the mat. Might be a bit harder if you're on carpet here, but start sliding forward towards your splits position, keeping one hand either side. If you need to use blocks or stick a cushion underneath your leg, you can do that. But again, think about the upper body being soft, not creating tension through the shoulders. Sink the hips down to the floor. Use the breath to take it a touch deeper. Embrace the splits. Never thought I'd say that on a Wednesday morning. So just keep sinking into it, trying to find that little bit of extra space to move into. Well done. Carefully and slowly bring it back up. Hands to the mat. Knees come together, tabletop. We're going to make some of those big circular movements. So rotating our hips. Big circles going one way and then the other. Just to release off. Then push yourself back to child's pose. So remember, we've got child's pose to cobra 3 times. So draw forward, bring your hips towards your wrist, open your chest, maybe take the gaze up. Exhale, child's pose, push it back. Inhale, draw forward, open the chest, lift the gaze. And exhale, child's pose. We have one more. Forward, open the chest. Lift up, look up, tuck the toes under, lift the hips now, push back, downward facing dog. Look forward, bend the knees, jump or step. Feet to the top, halfway lift. Fold over your legs, sit into your chair, so drop the bottom down, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And push out to release. Hands come into prayer, feet together, close the eyes. Nice big deep inhale here. And exhale. Let it go. Just feel the energy you've created within your body. Brilliant work, guys. Well done. Take the arms up. Get some length through the body. Come up onto your tippy toes. Bring the arms in front of you. Palms are facing down to shoulder height. Slowly lower. Slowly lower. Try and get your back as flat as you can as you lower down into a toe squat position. So we're still high on the toes, so the heels are lifted. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. So push the chest forward. Push the chest forward so the arms come back by the ears. Now take your knees wide. Bring your heels together. So your knees are going nice and wide. Then sweep the hands around to take hold of your heels and drop your head down towards your toes. So you're trying to bring your head down towards the floor, but holding onto those heels. And then release. Bring the knees back together, reach the arms forward and drop your bottom down so you can take it onto the mat, into a little rock and roll, massage out the spine. Well done, and come down to lay down on your backs. So bring the heels in towards the bottom, feet are about hip distance apart. Arms are down by your side, palms are facing down. Now just ensure you have a lovely space between your chin and your chest. And then we're going to tuck the tailbone, so tilt the pelvis. Tilt the pelvis so you can then start pushing into the feet and lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Arms can stay down on the mat. Head is still looking up towards the sky. Just use the power of your legs to lift those hips nice and high. Take a couple of breaths here. Well done. Slowly release. Bring the spine back to the mat. Try and move one vertebra at a time, so we slowly bring it back down. All right, let's take it up again. So tilt and lift, push up. Let's roll the shoulders under and interlace the hands underneath. Let's walk those shoulders towards each other so we can get nice and high. Push the floor away. Remember, make sure the knees don't go wide. Space between chin and chest. Breathe into your chest space. Keep the core active. Let's keep the lower back protected. Push and lift those hips a touch more. Exhale, hands out of the way and lower slowly. Take a breather at the bottom. We've got one more back bend. You choose where you would like to take it. Okay, whether you want to stay with bridge or if you want to go for a half or a full wheel, it's up to you. Okay, we've done quite a lot of work opening up through the back, so we can take a deeper back bend if it's appropriate for you today. So tilt the pelvis, push and lift those hips up. Start with a bridge. If the bridge feels okay, let's bring the hands next to the ears, fingertips point towards the shoulders. Even if we just get the hands into position and use the bridge shape, that's fine. Then maybe push up, top of the head, half wheel. And then if you want to go for the full wheel, push the floor away with the hands and the feet to lift it to a full back bend. Push your chest to the back of the room. Keep the toes and the knees pointing in the same direction. If you're in a bridge or a wheel, you may want to try a leg lift. It's your practice, so choose whatever you want to, but just be mindful of your neck and your back and slowly come down onto the mat when you are ready, bringing your spine back to the floor. Once you're there, bring the knees into your chest and just give yourself a hug. Maybe rock from side to side, just releasing off. And then on the inhale, bring your forehead up to touch your knees. So squeeze yourself into a really tight little ball. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze up. And then release. Drop your feet down, bring your arms by your side. Take a breath. Well done, everybody. And then we're going to take our inversion today. So if you are a headstander or a handstander, please feel free to get yourself upside down. If you want to stay with me with shoulder stand, start by lifting the legs into the air in a waterfall. If you wish to stay here, just bring the hands or a block or something underneath your bottom to support. Or maybe you're going to lift up and hands, fingers, thumbs onto the back to come into shoulder stand. Walking the elbows towards each other to get the hands up towards the shoulder blades. Point the toes up towards the ceiling. Look towards your feet. Try and get into a nice vertical position. Keep walking those elbows in to get that little bit high. Always mindful of the neck and the back, wherever you're working, guys. So zip the legs together. Imagine you've got a tennis ball between your ankles that you don't want to drop. So the legs are super active. All right, let's lower the right foot down over the head just to touch the floor or reach towards the floor. Bring it back up to the ceiling. Then try the left. Bring it down, touch, and then back up. Try both together. We've done lots of work on the hamstrings today, so hopefully you might find you can go a bit deeper. If the feet touch the floor, the hands can release, interlace, and come down to the mat. If they don't touch, keep the hands on the back for support. And then breathe. Breathe wherever you are, breathe through that restriction that you have placed on your breath. Long, slow inhales and exhales. Really good for stimulating the thyroid and boosting our metabolism first thing on the morning. Breathe into your throat space. And if we're still in plow, let's bring our arms down to the floor now and slowly start rolling and the spine back to the mat, bringing the bottom down with control so that the legs go up towards the ceiling in a waterfall. Just pause for a moment in waterfall. And then you can either bend your knees here and bring the feet to the floor or keep the legs extended and travel them slowly, using that core strength all the way back down to the mat, where we can just release. If you did a headstand, maybe a child's pose will be a nice counter posture for you. If you're with me in shoulder stand, let's take the arms up above the head, take a full body stretch here. So extend and reach from your fingertips to your toes. And then as you exhale, sweep the hands down so that they are next to the bottom. Lift up onto your forearms, push the chest to the ceiling and drop the head back into a fish posture. You can kind of tuck your hands underneath your bum if you want to. If the head touches down, you can then take the arms up towards the ceiling. Zip those legs together, point the toes. Really puff the chest up, breathe into your throat space that you are opening. And carefully release and roll your spine back to the mat. Good. All right, everybody bend your knees. If you are not on your back already, join us on your back. Knees are bent, feet are hip distance apart. Take the arms out into a crucifix and let's just have a little windscreen wipe of those knees from side to side. Just check in now with your lower back. Open up the shoulders as much as you can onto the floor. Then let's take both knees over to the right side to take a little bit of a twist. If you want to, you can take that left leg over further and use the right hand to pull it over to really get into that twist. So we're looking in the opposite direction to where our knees have gone. Breathe into the side body. And then bring it back to center. Make sure that the feet are mat distance apart. Then drop both knees over to the left. So stay with it here, or bring the right leg further over. Use the left hand to pull that knee over. Pin the shoulder blades to the floor and then turn your head to look to the right. Breathe into that side body twist. Let's release tension as you exhale. Starting to calm the breath, ready to go for your final relaxation. So let the breath start calming down, let the heart rate slow. Bring the knees back to center. Keep the feet mat distance, not the knees together. Stay here for Shavasana, or let the legs release down to the mat. So you're making a starfish shape. Take up space if you've got it around you so the limbs are a little further away from the midline of the body. Nice big long inhale. Open the mouth and sigh the breath out. And then just let go. Close your eyes. Breathing in and out through the nostrils. Just release that tension. Anything that you may be holding on to. Just let it go. So both physically and mentally. Let it go. Make your next inhale a touch longer and a bit deeper. Small movements, fingers, toes. Take the arms overhead when you're ready for a full body stretch. And then draw your knees into your chest before rolling over onto your right side. Push yourself up carefully when you are ready to come up into a seated position with a tall spine. Relax shoulders, hands into prayer at heart center. Just take a moment to remember your intention, your focus, maybe your dedication for practice today. Give thanks to everybody who has shared the space with you online this morning. It has been my absolute pleasure to guide you all. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you.